Hello, bonjour, bonsoir. How are you? It is Mary Schiller. Happy to be with you today for a workshop in this series called Done For You Profits. How are you doing? If you are joining me live, please say hello in the chat so I know that you're here, and also so I know you can see and hear me okay. Hello, Karen. Hello, Monique. Nice to see you. Lovely, lovely. Hello, Mimi. Hi, Tyson. Hello, Sharon. How's everybody doing? Tell me in the chat how your day has been. Hello, Erna. Hi. Hi, Just Paul. Nice to see you. So how has your day been? Mine has been pretty good. It's been raining here on and off today, which has been quite a nice change from the heat. So yeah, Sharon, you can relate to the wet weather. I've really, truly been enjoying it though. It's such a nice change to, not feel like you need to have the fans running or the air conditioner running 24/7. So I am grateful for the change, and also just really thrilled to be back here for another one of these trainings. Hello, Catherine. Welcome. I always enjoy doing these workshops with you because we have such a good time. So if you are new to me, welcome. Get ready to enjoy yourself and have some great back and forth participation. If you know me and you've been to some workshops before, thank you for coming back. If you're watching this on the replay, thank you so much for doing so. I truly, truly appreciate it. Hello, Steve. Bonjour, bonsoir. Hi, Graham. Nice to see you. So really quick, yes, I know the U.S. needs rain so badly. I know it's really awful. My family lives mostly in California, so I know what's happening there. And, who knows with climate change, I just don't know what we're going to do, especially in my home state of California. It's mostly desert there. I don't know what they were thinking building all these homes over the years, but that's the way it is. So, I want to just give you a couple of logistical things here. First of all, please do type in the chat anytime. I will keep checking there. If you have a specific question, if you could please click where it says ask a question and type it in there, then I will be sure to see it. And also I can mark it on the replay, which is so cool on Crowdcast. So I will click start when I begin to answer, and then I'll click stop when I finish answering. So then on the replay, you can literally jump to the answer to whatever question someone has posted, which I think is amazing. So are we ready to discover how Done For You content can help you to sign up 3 new clients in 30 days? Who is ready? Give me a shout out in the chat, because before I jump into the presentation, yay, Karen, I want to say that I have done this myself. Okay, so what I'm sharing with you, I have done myself as a coach. I have used Done For You content for this purpose. Yes, everybody's ready. Awesome. So, I don't want you to think that I am talking about something that I have never done. In fact, any workshop or anything I teach is always based on something that I have done myself, because it would be weird for me to get up here and teach you something related to business that I hadn't actually tried myself. That would be strange. So just know that I have done this, and everything that you're hearing from me is from my own experience as a coach, and also from working with other coaches over the years who want to develop their own business. All right. Let me go to the screen share, because I have a handy dandy presentation here. If I can find it, there it is. Okay, let's see if I can go to the present mode. There we are. All right. Awesome. 3 new clients in 30 days using Done For You content. And just FYI, I am I'm going to get rid of this. I am using Canva for this purpose because I love Canva, as you know, and it's very easy to set up slides using Canva. Just a little bonus tip there in case you haven't tried it. You can set it up in Canva and you can present right from there. You can even record from Canva, which is an even better thing because then you don't have to get all fancy schmancy with some other kind of video equipment. All right. So we will go for about 60 minutes, maybe a little bit less. And please stay until the end if you can for a nice surprise, but I'll also send it out by email directly after the presentation is finished. So you are in the right place if you're a coach already, or you want to be a coach. You want new clients, even if you don't have a website, following, or email list. Now, a lot of people will say, well, Mary, how can I possibly get clients if I don't have a website, a following, or an email list? Well, I will explain that towards the end of the presentation today. And I will tell you what I did when I was in that situation. You're also in the right place if you want to discover what a quote unquote no-brainer offer might be, and you're curious about how done for you content can help. I am Mary Schiller, creator of Course Books, which is done for you content for coaches. As most of you may know, I have been a coach since 2016, and I just love this profession so much. I am also an expert coaching program and online course creator. I have created, I don't even know how many programs by this point. I really wouldn't be able to count. I've also been a professional writer since forever. I've worked in the online learning space for 25 years or something like that. So I bring a lot of expertise as well as practical experience to this whole topic. I'm just going to go back here for just a second. Okay. So before I say anything else, I want to say a huge thank you for being here. And I really want you to know, in case nobody has said this to you lately, you are needed in this world. Whatever you want to bring to people is needed. I need you to do that. Other people need you to do that. Life itself wants you to do that. And so if you have felt like you need to hide in some way, or, that maybe what you have to offer isn't good enough or whatever, I really hope that you can put all of that aside and just realize that we do need you. And one of the reasons, which I'll talk about in a second, that I started to create this type of done for you content is I really wanted to give coaches like you a place to start from if you were feeling unsure of what to do. So just thank you so much for being here. So this was so funny because I really spent 9 years traveling from cubicle to cubicle. Instead of country to country. I was in a very large university, and I went from literally department to department, cubicle to cubicle, trying to find a good place to land, and just nothing suited me. And it was so frustrating because I just felt like, wherever I tried to find my footing, it just wasn't a good fit. And I was recalling today how one of the cubicles that I worked in for, I think I was there for 2 years, was literally a former storage closet that still had things stored in it. And not only that, this was the worst part. I had no access whatsoever to any natural light, even if I stepped out of my little cubicle area into the main office, because all of the windows were commandeered by other offices and I couldn't see the windows. So in order to get any natural light at all, I had to go out of our office space entirely and go down a hallway where there was a window next to some elevators where they would transport, I'll just say, animal waste up and down. I worked in a medical center, a medical school where they did all kinds of experiments and things. And so literally that was how I got my light during the day, unless I went out for my lunch break. So that was not an ideal situation. I'm going to have to hold on 1 second because my cat is getting into major trouble. Hang on a moment. Sorry about that. My cat was sticking her head through. I don't know if anyone else has cats, but she likes to stick her head through plastic bag handles. And there was one sitting there. And of course, she went and did that. So that's why. So, in any case, I went from the cubicle life to a life where I can literally be anywhere and still earn online. And the reason I'm showing you these pictures and talking to you about this is because I have been able to do this without a big following, without a big email list, without using like super fancy schmancy tech. In fact, I have tried a lot of the super fancy schmancy tech and just realized it's not necessary at all. In fact, every audio you have ever heard from me, if you've ever listened to me, was recorded using my phone, usually an old phone, and earbuds. And any videos I've done have either been done using my old iPhone or just my computer, where I have a slightly better camera plugged into it. So all that to say, you don't need as much as you might think you do. So I want you to be encouraged by that fact. So let me know in the chat if that does encourage you, because even to this day, I have not made building an email list, a large list, a huge priority. And even today, I still have fewer than 1,000 subscribers. And I am very much able to reach that 6-figure mark. I've been like that the whole time. So you don't need tons and tons of followers. You just need the right people who will show up when you put yourself out there. And I will talk about that in just a second. Your cat's behaving for once. Oh, great, Catherine. Thank you. All right, let's keep going. So in 2022, which is the current year that we're in, as I am talking to you today, I started writing done for you content for coaches because I really wanted to use all of my experience as a writer, an online educator, and coach to save you time and become what I feel is like an invisible member of your team. All of the kind of big name coaches and, all kinds of people hire writers to work for them. How do I know this? Because I used to be one of those people. For many years, I was either an in-house copywriter or a freelance copywriter. I did a lot of other things other than writing, like I produced films for businesses and things like that, and did audio programming and commercials, all kinds of things. But all of that was as an invisible member of the team. So if a company would send an email to its subscribers, the person who signed it was not the person who wrote it. I did. And so I don't see anything different here, except that I am not writing specifically for your business, but I am creating material that you can use pretty much as it is or with minor adaptations and put your name to it and feel really good about that. And I also really endeavor to show you how to make the tech part of all this really simple and fun, as I mentioned earlier. So when I do workshops like this, or when I create the paid trainings that you'll find in my shop, I really try to keep things as simple as possible in terms of technology, because there's just no need to overcomplicate it. Most coaches in particular are using technology that's way beyond what they need. And that's a big reason why they're getting lost and confused and unable to move forward. My mission, to put it very simply, is to help you to follow your dreams. And if part of your dream is to have an online coaching business, whether you want to coach people in, one-to-one or in groups, or you want to sell digital courses or other kinds of digital products, whatever it is. My mission is to help you to do that. So you're free to go anywhere in the world if that's what you want to do, and just make all of that a lot easier for you. So I did this in the last workshop, and I feel it's important to just quickly go over what done for you content is. And again, if you have any questions, go ahead and click where it says ask a question and type it in there. I will pause for questions in just a moment and I will answer them. So if you went to the previous workshop, this may be a review, but it's a good review anyway. And if not, this is really important to discuss. So you may have heard the term private label rights or PLR content before. If not, feel free to say that in the chat. If yes, either from me or someone else, feel free to let me know. Essentially, it means that you buy the rights to use the content and put your name on it instead of giving me or any other PLR provider any credit. So an important distinction is that you do not own the copyright, but you can use the content. You've bought the rights to use the content in almost any way that you want to. And each provider of this type of done for you content has a list of do's and don'ts, of things you can do and things you can't do with this type of content. Usually there aren't that many don'ts. One of the ones that I do want to point out, there's a couple that I do want to point out that I believe every single provider of this type of done for you content will say. One is that you cannot take the material and put it into a book on Amazon. That is against Amazon's policies. Another thing is you can't simply take what you have in one of my course books, let's say, or any other PLR content, and just as it is with no modifications at all, no branding, no change of images, no addition of your own examples. You can't just take it as is and sell it on a platform like the ones that I recommend, like PayHip or Gumroad. You have to make some kind of modifications, which is what you would want to do anyway. You really don't want to have something just as it is with no changes. That would be a bit strange. I also want to mention that if you've been around for a while and you have seen providers of PLR, this is definitely what I've called a buyer beware kind of situation, where some PLR is pretty good. I'm going to put mine in the excellent category. There are a couple of other companies that I think are doing a really good job. I can think of maybe 3 that I would recommend that are good to excellent. The rest are fine, and some are really bad. So you just have to really do your homework. And when you go to a site for PLR, you'll usually be able to see a sample of something, or you'll probably get a feel just from the way it's presented, whether the quality is good or not. Frankly, it's almost like, you can judge a book by its cover in this case. I have found in my own use of PLR, because yes, I have used it in my coaching business, that the best providers specialize in one overall topic. So they sell only business done for you content, or they sell only life coaching, etc., or only health, or whatever it is. Sometimes they get really specific. I would estimate, this is really from my experience and also from hearing from people in this sphere and hearing how they run their business, that 99.9% of them used ghostwriters like I was before, and or artificial intelligence software to write their content. Nothing wrong with that. It's simply the way that it is. I want to make sure that that I write on evergreen life coaching topics. So I consider myself quite specialized. I'm not going to write or sell anything that's going to go out of style next week. And I write every single word myself because I have super high standards. And I just don't think that I could either hire anyone, and certainly I couldn't use artificial intelligence to write to the standard that I have, because I've been a professional writer since 1993 or 4. I can't remember. It's been a long time, and I just won't accept anything less than that. And to address the elephant in the room, is using Done For You content ethical? Yes, it is. I've used it myself in my coaching business many times, and I even continue to look for it for inspiration. So it's not just for you to purchase. I'll show you in a little bit how you can use Done For You content simply for inspirational purposes. I mentioned this before, but I'm going to say it again. It's really important to always customize the PLR that you purchase. So that means, of course, add your branding and details. So if you have certain colors that fit whatever you have purchased, use your own style and your own details, of course. Add your own examples and stories. This is super important because even though what you purchase may be very well done, which I have purchased some that was very well done, you still need to add your own personality to it. It doesn't mean you have to rewrite everything, because you don't, but you can find places where you can add an example or story from your own experience, and then it just really makes it pop. And you can also put it into a format that you like. So if you buy something that's just delivered in a Word document, you may decide that you want to do something completely different with it to fit your personality and how you like to deliver things. All right, let me stop sharing here and see if there are any questions. All right, here, let me go to the questions. Hi, Catherine. So you can't sell a book on Amazon that includes some PLR and some of your own content? No, not possible. The reason why is because, like, I would be really hesitant to even test that out. So, because you might think, well, I could personalize the PLR so that it wasn't very close at all to the original. I just would be very, very careful about doing that. If I were going to use PLR as inspiration for a book, I might do something like, look at the overall topic and the table of contents, and then create my own content and not use what was done. I just feel like Amazon is so on the radar about that it would be risky, and I wouldn't want to see your Amazon account shut down, because that is what can happen. You're very welcome. All right. Any other questions before I keep going? Doesn't look like it. All right, let me go back to our, oops. Okay, a minute. There we are. Okay, let's keep it going. I want to reiterate too that everything we're talking about today can work if you are an established coach already, or if you're just getting started with or without an audience. Okay, so a lot of people just feel like, they can't get clients if they don't have, quote, an audience. And I'm going to show you why you can do it anyway. Really, all you need is this: a willingness to share what you're offering and a way to get paid. That's really all you need. Is you'll have something that you can put together using Done For You content, if that's what you like to do. And you just need to be willing to put it out there, and you need a way for people to pay you for it. So let's keep going. So here's what we're going to talk about over the next 20-25 minutes. What a no-brainer offer is and how it is set up. How Done For You content can help you create and deliver a no-brainer offer. Pricing your offer and how to tell people about your offer. Does that sound good? Are we ready? Let's keep going. Okay. First up, what is a no-brainer offer? And, in your experience, you can probably relate to this. If you see an offer that's a no-brainer, it usually falls into at least one of these categories. Now, we're looking at it from the coach's point of view, but, think about when you have bought something that was a no-brainer for you, it almost always, I would say at least 90% of the time, it's because it was solving one specific problem that people are facing. So let me know in the chat if that seems true to you, that when you see something that is really enticing, it's usually because it's addressing a specific problem that you know you are dealing with. And it's probably not something super duper broad and kind of all encompassing. That's usually not what I would call a no-brainer offer. I'll give some examples in a second. From the coach's point of view, it's not necessarily discounted, but it can be if you want. I will talk about pricing in a minute, but don't automatically think that a no-brainer offer means cheap, okay? Because that's just not the case. Also, from the coach's point of view, it's something that you can deliver easily and quickly. So this is not usually a long-term type of program. In my experience, when I have offered what I would call a no-brainer offer, it's been something that I could put together and deliver fast, usually because of a few reasons. One is I would like some quick cash, being honest. Another reason is I might be testing something that I might put into a longer program. So I want to do something short. So those are a couple of reasons why you might want to keep it a more compact sort of offer. And again, if any questions come to your mind, feel free to do as Catherine did and click ask a question and just type it in there. I will come back to it. So here are some examples that I just made up of specific versus non-specific. So a non-specific type of offer would be something like feel better about yourself or some version of that. And I am not trying to be disrespectful of people who might put an offer out there like that. However, it's very difficult to capture people's attention with something that is very vague like that. So let me know in the chat if you have ever made an offer like that, because I actually have in the past and learned quickly that it's just not really the best thing to do. And, you know, let me know if you've seen offers from coaches like that. And, you know, you kind of have to work too hard to figure out, you know, is this for me? What's going on with this offer? If your audience has too many questions left unanswered, then it's just not going to be very inspiring to them to sign up. It's just not that, you know, anyone who is confused is likely to leave, and we don't want that to happen. So a specific, now I'm not saying you need to do this one, but this is a specific one. Gain the confidence to ask for a raise at your job. That right there would tell someone if they were a good fit or not right away. So it would obviously for people who are in a job who know that they deserve a raise and have been hesitant to ask, and they feel not so confident in doing that, and they really want someone to support them in taking that step. That is a very specific offer. And you might say, oh my gosh, you know, how many people could there be like that? You know, isn't that getting too specific? And really, you can't get too specific. You just can't. The more specific you can be on a note for a quote unquote no-brainer offer, the more no-brainer it's going to be. Another one, this is based on one of my course books, set better boundaries. Okay, it's somewhat specific in that it's talking about boundaries, but it doesn't indicate who it's for or, you know, what's going to happen. So my version was get clear on what you want in your relationship and practice saying so. So in that situation, somebody knows, okay, I am going to, if I work with this coach, I'm having some kind of issue in my relationship, and I need to get some clarity around really what I expect in this relationship, and then how I tell my partner what it is that I want. So that is, again, a much more specific offer. Let me know in the chat if you're here with me live, is that making sense about specific versus non-specific? Because this is really an important feature of a no-brainer offer. And oh, good. I'm glad this is making sense, because again, I think that we often feel like if we're broader, we'll get more people. And it actually doesn't work like that. In my experience, that just hasn't been the case. Oh, excellent. Okay, I'm glad this is coming through, because it just hasn't, it doesn't work like that. The broader you are, the less of a no-brainer it is for people. So don't hesitate to get really specific, because the thing is, whether you use done for you content or not, you can always adapt what you do for a specific type of person in a specific type of situation. So here are some examples of what I would consider simple setups that work really well for a no-brainer offer. For example, as I mentioned, keeping the duration short. So like one-to-one coaching over maybe a week or two, focused on just one results. That would be a nice no-brainer offer that somebody could venture into without a huge long-term commitment. And let's say you were testing out a new way of working with people and you wanted to do something over the short term, that would work very well. I have done this many, many times, and it always works well. Another one would be a short-term group coaching program with one clear goal. So for instance, going back to the one about, confidence and asking for a raise, you could do that as a group program. You could, teach people over a week, let's say, and have some group support around that. That would be really, really nice. Excuse me. You could also do something like a 1 or 2 part live class like this one. So let's say I wanted to charge for a class like this, and I wanted to go into even more depth. I could split it into 2 parts. I could even include some support in a group in between, something along those lines. So that's a nice no-brainer offer. It's not a huge commitment on your part or on the attendee's part, but it can really give you some nice cash. And it can also show you if you like teaching on that topic or working with people in that way. And of course, one of my favorite things is to create some sort of digital product, like an ebook or a short audio or video series on a focused topic. I love doing this. I've done this many times. You can even, of course, host a class like this, download the video and sell the video as something that's a no-brainer offer. There's literally a million possibilities there. I would just, for a no-brainer offer, I would try to keep it as focused as possible, and even consider something, like I said, doing a shorter series, not some, 8-hour thing, but maybe like even 60 minutes or 90 minutes total, something like that. Let's see here. I will come back to the questions in 1 second. So I want to point this out too, because a lot of people forget this. And as I was putting this together, I was like, oh, I need a slide on this. So when someone buys from you at any price point, they are more likely to buy from you again. So remember that a no-brainer offer can lead to something bigger later on. I'll show an example of this. So if you sell a no-brainer offer for a lower price because you want to get some more paying clients, totally excellent, because a paying client is much more likely to become a repeat buyer. That maybe you've heard of the 80-20 rule. It absolutely is true in terms of my business, where at least 80% of my buyers are repeat buyers. And so that's why I don't hesitate to offer something at a lower price, because it's not like I'm trying to prey on people. I just know that a lot of times when people enter in at a lower price, they will buy something else at another lower price or at a higher price. So don't hesitate to, if you feel the pull to discount something, it's totally fine. It's totally fine. You're bringing someone into your orbit who is likely to continue with you. So let me just go to the questions really quickly before I keep going. Hi, Mimi. Would you name your no-brainer offer that specific sentence or use it as a caption? You could totally just go with something that straightforward. In fact, I was just speaking with someone yesterday, I believe it was, about titles, and I was saying we don't have to be pithy. We don't have to be cute and clever. If you can do something shorter because it comes to you, fine. Otherwise, just say what it is. a workshop on gaining confidence so you can ask for that raise. You know, like you really don't have to be fancy about any of this, and just tell people what it is and indicate, you know, who it's for and the result in the title. So let me know if that helps. All right, Linda says, would you share some price ranges for each of these? Excellent question, Linda. I'm going to go into pricing a little bit later, so I will come back to your question. What I will say right now is that whatever price you choose is the right price. And I'm not trying to evade your question, but I will get into pricing a little more specifically later. But I just want to assure you that if pricing is a question on your mind, which it is for a lot of people, I just want to assure you that whatever price you choose is the correct one. So you can kind of set that off to the side and just move forward. So I hope that doesn't sound too evasive, but I will go into pricing a bit later. Thanks, Linda. All right. Awesome. Thanks. Okay, let's go back. Glad that was helpful, Mimi. So let's talk for a minute about how Done For You content can help you come up with a topic for a no-brainer offer. So here is something that I have done. I have done all of these things. You can peruse some PLR sites and see what titles jump out at you. So you might go to a PLR provider that you have, you know, trusted with purchasing from before. You could go to my site and you could just look at the various titles and go, wow, that particular one sounds interesting. Like you might land on my site and you might see the Lessen Your Stress, for example, pre-written course book. And you're like, oh, stress, that's a good topic because, you know, pretty much everybody can relate to that. Maybe I could focus on helping people who are experiencing stress on the job or at school, or, you know, if they're a working parent, or, you know, you can narrow it down that way. But chances are that if you go to a PLR site and you look at the titles of what's on offer, they are things that people are interested in, because most providers of Done For You content, like myself, are trying to write about things that appeal to people that are not so like way out there. So this is a really good strategy if you're kind of stuck. Also, I have done this before. Go to a PLR site and see what topics are best sellers. Like, for example, in my own store, you can sort by best sellers. So you can see, oh, which topics are people buying? And you might think, well, isn't that sort of counterproductive because I don't want to be buying the same thing everyone else is? Well, you're going to put your own spin on it. You're going to put your own, make it for a specific audience that you are serving already or that you want to serve. It's going to have your example. So it's not going to resemble anyone else's program or course or book or audio series. It's not going to resemble anyone's. No one's going to recognize it. So that is something that I have done as well. The other thing you can do is, if you are having trouble focusing on just one goal for an offer like this, you can look at the table of contents for a program. So if, for example, I'll show you an example of this a bit later. On my descriptions in my shop of all of the course books, I have what the 5 lessons are. A couple of them have 6 lessons, but you can see what each lesson is. I'll show you an example, and you can go, oh, that one right there, that chapter or that lesson would make a great no-brainer offer. So let me give you an example of that from one of my course books. Yes, this is a shameless plug. This particular one is called Better Boundaries, Better Life. And I also want to mention, before I tell you this example, is that with course books, you can take the content out of the Canva template that it comes in. You can literally do, as I said, pretty much anything you want with it. And this is the same with PLR content from other providers. It can generally change from whatever form it has been delivered to you in. So if it comes in a Word file, you don't have to keep it in a Word file. You can make it into an audio course. You can make it into a video course. You can make it into an ebook, that sort of thing. Okay. So let's look at this as an example. So if you were going to use this course book as the basis for a no-brainer offer, you could think about helping people set better boundaries at work or in a relationship, but get even more specific, like we talked about. You could create a short-term private coaching program focusing on just one or two of the chapters. You could do like a 5-day group challenge. You could use one chapter, like get clear on what you want, or you could create an audio or video program in combination with those or on its own. But you can get a lot of inspiration, even if you don't have the course book itself or the PLR content. You can simply look at the titles of the chapters and get some inspiration there. The other thing I want to say, and this is really fun, is that if you buy Done For You content that's a little bit larger and is broken out into chapters, you can break those into smaller pieces for multiple no-brainer offers that are sort of a puzzle that people can put together or stepping stones. Here is an example. So you could create a short-term offer or an audio series that helps people get clear on what they want in a specific setting, like in a relationship, in a job, in, whatever area you want to help people in. Then you could create a second no-brainer offer about get clear about what you don't want. That could be another stepping stone. A third one could be helping people practice being direct and consistent about stating what their boundaries are. So you don't necessarily have to take everything as a whole. You can break it down into these smaller pieces and sell each one as a no-brainer offer that fits together or is sort of a stepping stone process for people to follow. Because here's the thing is, even with these types of offers, we want as much as possible to fit the pieces together for potential clients. And it also makes it simpler for us. So we're not going in a gazillion directions. As I said in a previous workshop in this series, you could literally create your entire business around one well-done piece of Done For You content. You could take one course book and create multiple offers that could span your entire business, depending on how you try or how you configure it. All right, let me stop sharing and see if we have any more questions. Hi, Catherine. So you could use Better Boundaries, Better Life as a presentation or a course as long as you rebrand it? Yes, absolutely. For a no-brainer type of offer, I would probably be more likely to take just one or two pieces of something like that. I don't recall how many words that particular one. It's between 4,000 and 5,000 words. It's a lot of content. So I would probably make it based on just one or two chapters or lessons. But yes, you can. As long as you rebrand it, you can do almost anything with it, except, like I said, put it into ebook format on Amazon. And you'll always, in case you're interested, you will always see an updated do's and don'ts list on my website. There's a link at the bottom of my shop and on my website that says exactly what is possible to do and what's not. All right. Excellent, Catherine. All right. Any other questions on that? I kind of ran through that quickly, but I'm hoping, let me know in the chat, are you starting to get a little bit of inspiration here about how Done For You content can really make it a lot easier to come up with a no-brainer offer? Because my attitude is this, like most of us coaches are solopreneurs. I've been a solopreneur the entire time. The person who has assisted me at times is my daughter when she's had time. But, I've been doing this on my own, and I have had no problem using Done For You content in various ways because, as I said before, we don't have to do it all by ourselves. We can enlist the help of an invisible team member. And so, if you're feeling hesitant about it, I would just encourage you to kind of set that feeling off to the side because it's really not necessary. to feel guilty or to, ask yourself, gosh, is this really okay? Because it absolutely is. So let me know in the chat if you're here live. How are you doing? Are you getting some ideas? Tell me what's happening. Let's see. Catherine says, you're a boundaries coach. Oh, amazing. Lots of terrific information. I've been using Done For You content for a while. I'm learning a lot. Awesome. That's wonderful. Thank you so much. All right. Let me jump back to my fancy schmancy, not so much presentation. And any other questions, feel free to type them in. Mimi, breaking up the content of a course book sounds like a no-brainer. Yes, because clients who want to change something can only handle bite-sized information. So brilliantly stated, Mimi. That's so true because, I'm going to be quite frank with you. I have bought some of those very large, like online courses, for example, and even though I consider myself to be quite tech savvy and all these things, I have gotten overwhelmed in some of them. I mean, just like there was one course I enrolled in. I'll never forget it as long as I live. It was 8 weeks long or 8 or 10 weeks long. It was an online course. And each week had, I believe it was 4 to 5 videos that were each 45 minutes long. And there was homework. So like you had to, if you were going to do the homework properly, you would have had to sit in front of the screen for however many hours that was every week. And I was like, are they kidding? Like, there's no way that I could do this. I couldn't absorb that much information. So I ended up just skipping most of it. And I actually completed the homework on my own a lot faster without just wading through all that material. But that, I would never buy anything from that person again, because I was like, clearly they don't understand how their audience operates. All right. We're going to go through 2 more things quickly here because my advice to you is quite simple on pricing and how to tell people about your offer, because as you know, I am into simplicity here. So are you ready? Here comes my best advice on pricing. And if you've been around me at all, you may know what I'm about to say. Price according to what you want to earn, not what you think people will pay. If you price things based on what you think people will pay, it is a race to the bottom, and that is not what we want to be doing. I want you to think about pricing in terms of what would I like to earn from this offer? What feels right to me? What price do I feel good about? What price will I show up for? If it's something that you have to deliver, one-to-one or in a group, what price just feels right. And I want to just tell you that whatever price you land on is the right one. Okay. Come at it from this perspective of what would I like to earn? You absolutely cannot go wrong. Whatever price you land on is the perfect price. You just go with it. If later you decide, oh, that price was a little bit low, then raise it the next time. You don't have to tell anybody. You don't have to get anyone's permission. If you felt it was too high, then lower it. You don't have to get anyone's permission. This is all up to you, but you can't make a mistake. Okay. So let me know how that feels. Is that a price per client, Mimi? However you want to do it. That's what I was thinking of, is just, if you feel like if you want to offer a group, let's say, and you want to limit the number of people in the group, yes, then it might be helpful to think of the whole amount that you want to earn. So let's say you want to earn $1,000 and you only want to have 4 people, then you need to charge $250 per person. So yeah, it can work either way that you want. Good question. All right. That was it on pricing. And, I'm laughing only because we make such a big deal out of pricing, and it just, in my experience, doesn't need to be made into this big production. It's just, what price do you feel good about? What would you like to earn? And just go with it, because you're in charge. You get to decide if you change it, if you make it higher, lower, it's totally okay. Nobody's checking these things. And I just feel like it can be a lot simpler than people make it out to be. And whenever I've taught about pricing, I have just always tried to emphasize the fact that whatever price you land on is the correct one. There's no making a mistake. There's no making a mistake. You can always change it at a later point when you offer it again. So let me know if that was helpful, because I aim to please. No, I aim to be truthful, really. All right. All right. Lastly, again, this is going to be very simple. How to tell people about your offer. Here we go again. My best advice on marketing is coming up on the next slide. Here is what marketing means to me. It means sharing and then inviting people to take the next step. To me, that is all that marketing is. It's connecting with people by sharing what you do in some way, shape, or form, and then simply saying, would you like to take the next step, which is enrolling in a paid program, course, whatever it may be. I do not like when people make marketing into this big, complicated thing, because it isn't. And unfortunately, especially in the online business space, there's a lot of talk about funnels and all of these crazy steps that you got to go through. I don't, if that floats your boat, great, go for it. For most of the people that I have worked with over the years, when I have emphasized this level of simplicity, where it's literally sharing with people what you do and inviting them to take the next step, they get clients. That's just what happens. People show up, and that's just what happens. I don't know how else to put it. We don't have to put so many barriers between us and the people that we would love to serve. And I find that a lot of these steps and funnels and things just end up putting hurdles, that people have to jump over in order to get to something. And I just don't see the point of that. And again, if you have questions, put it where it says ask a question, because I'm happy to answer. Really, telling people about your offer can be as simple as this. And I have done all of these things. So when I first started as a coach, I literally contacted people I knew personally. I looked in my Gmail contacts and I emailed every single person individually who, I felt was kind of in my sphere. And I said, hey, I've become a professional coach. I coach on X topic. If this is of interest to you, let me know, and let's set up a chat to see if we want to work together. Or if you know people who might be interested, feel free to forward my information to them. I literally did that. Obviously, you can share on your personal social media account. I have done this a lot when I first started. Before I became a coach, I had started a little group on Facebook for friends and family who might have been interested in the topic I was interested in. And then when I started coaching people as a paid coach, a lot of them paid me, and even friends paid me. So, don't think that just because someone is a friend, they won't enroll, because they will. If you have had previous clients, don't hesitate to go back to them and say, you know what? I have this new offer. I was thinking of you and I thought it might be right for you. If it is, here is how you can get more information and sign up. I have done this many times. I may have done this if you're on this workshop or you're listening to the replay. I may have done that with you at some point, because I just feel like when someone has done that for me, I have really appreciated it, because I'm not always paying attention to everything. And I just appreciate that they took the time to say, oh, I was thinking of you in relation to this offer because of what we've done before. No pressure, but here's the info. I really feel like people, if you're so inclined, people really appreciate live talks like on Facebook or Instagram. I would just keep them short. And of course, if you have emails, you can let them know what your offer is. And I want to assure you, the people who want what you're offering will show up and say yes. The people who want what you're offering will show up and say yes. You don't need to worry about any of this, okay? It's just not something you need to get stressed and worried about. The right people who are meant to sign up will sign up. So just share, invite, repeat, share, invite, repeat. That's all you need to do. So here is what we've talked about in this workshop. We talked about what a no-brainer offer is and how to set it up. We've talked about how done-for-you content can help you create and deliver a no-brainer offer. We talked about simple pricing strategy and simple marketing strategy. So any questions? Let me jump back over here and answer this question. Hi, Mimi. Mimi says, I struggle with the sharing. How do I share something without giving everything away in one post because I'm worried about repeating myself too much? The simple answer there is you can't give everything away. It's really not possible. So, you might think, well, gosh, Mary, you're giving away a lot in this workshop. But if we were to work together one-to-one on creating something, for example, you would get a lot more than what I'm sharing in this workshop. Even though I am giving a lot in terms of value, it's not everything. You can't possibly share everything that you would. You can't share everything in a free post or a free Facebook Live or anything like that you would in a paid program. You don't have to go into depth. You can stay at a higher level. I was just talking about this with someone yesterday, where you can explain what it is and why it's important without going into the how people do it. That's not what that is for. So, just keep it at a high level. You don't have to teach people the depth that you would in your offer. All right. Cool. Thank you so much for the awesome questions. We are getting to the end. How's everybody doing? I hope you've had fun. I really hope that this has been helpful. Let me know in the chat, because I do aim to please, even though I hate to admit it. I do want you to learn something. So, surprise, 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 because you have registered for this workshop, whether you're here live or you are watching on the replay, I'm going to offer you a 50% savings on anything in the Course Books shop. That means any course book, any of the audio kits, the audio expansion pack, which is simply the audio script version of the course book, not the full 4,000 to 5,000 word course book, but the audio script version of it, or one of the new journals. This is good for a little over 24 hours. So it expires tomorrow, Friday, September 9th at 5 p.m. Eastern time. And the code is NEW50, NEW50. That is good on everything in the course book shop, except for the bundles, because they're super discounted already. And there is a brand new course book in the shop called Inspire Your Life. I'm so happy to bring this one to you. This was so much fun for me to write for you, and I think that your clients will really enjoy it. You will really enjoy it. When I was putting this together, I couldn't help but think what a wonderful group program this would be. Also, it would be an amazing online program that someone could work through, or you could provide a simple online version, like with some audios, and then supplement that with one-to-one coaching. But I was just like, wow, this would be a really amazing thing to run, particularly as a group. I just think it would be super fun, because there could be some excellent discussions that would go on with this particular program. And again, the discount of NEW50 applies to all of them, including this new one. Yay! So excited. And lastly, I just want to show where you get to the shop. You can go to maryschiller.com and click on shop, and that will take you to the shop where you'll see all of the course books. And last but not least, if you would like help, one-to-one help on putting together your offer, putting together, what's an online shop, whatever you want to create, just click the green button below to visit the page to schedule a free call with me, and let's see if we are a good fit to work together. Yay. Okay. Awesome. Yes. Oh, you're very welcome, Monique. Thanks, Catherine. Thank you, Karen. Any final questions? Again, I'm going to just put the link to my shop in the chat so you can get to it easily. You're very welcome. And the code is NEW50, And that's good for just a little over 24 hours. So let's see, it would be like 28 hours as I'm talking to you. That's good for everything in the Course Books shop, because I would love to support you in getting started on something that will really help you to build your coaching business a lot faster. And I really do consider myself part of your team. I'm an invisible member of your team. And I want you to think of me that way. I'm not just some stranger or some AI that's writing this stuff. It's actually me. And I really put my heart and soul into it on your behalf and on your client's behalf. Let's see. Hi, Monique. The only date on the calendar is today. Yes, that is because today, thank you for saying that, Monique. Today is the last day to get in on a special price for one-on-one help. So I think there are still a couple of times left. I'm not even sure what's left for today, but there are some times left for today. I'm going to swap that out for another link later this evening, but today is the last day to get in on a very special price to work with me for a month, one-to-one. So if for some reason the times on there don't work for you and you really, really, really want to get in on that, just email me right away after this workshop or after you've watched the replay today, and we will set something up. But that is a really special offer. So thank you for pointing that out, Monique. You're very welcome. Any other questions, comments, anything at all? I hope that this has been worth your while, and it's been so much fun for me to share this with you. Please do take advantage of the discount code over the next 24 hours or so. I will send it out again by email through Crowdcast here so you don't miss it. And, you know, I really do feel so strongly that if you are called to be a coach and this is what you really want to do, that you can't make a mistake, that the right decisions will be made, and that, you know, if working with me is meant to be, then that's what we'll do. If buying something from my shop is meant to be, then that's what will happen. You know, there's no pressure around any of this. We're all here just trying to make a positive difference in the world. And however you do that is perfect. So I never want you to think that you're doing it wrong or that there's something that you don't know or anything like that, because that's just not how I see it. I see you as absolute perfection, just as you are and just as you're doing, and where you are right now is exactly where you need to be right now. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Mimi. You're very kind. You know how much I love you. I love you all so, so much. Feel free to click the green button to set up a call or email me, Mary@maryschiller.com. I'm always just an email or a direct message away. If there's anything that I can do to help you, just please let me know. That is what I'm here for. The replay will be available right on this page after we end, just a couple of minutes later. Thank you all so much. I hope you're having a wonderful day or evening wherever you are in the world, and I will see you again very soon. All right. Take care, everybody. Bye for now.